What if I told you that a tiny 1-cent coin from 2009, the same one most people ignore or toss into a jar, could be hiding a life-changing payday? In 2009, the United States Mint released a special 4-coin commemorative series honoring the 200th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Millions were struck. Billions, even. But buried within those massive mintages are rare era coins, overlooked varieties, and ultra-high-grade survivors that have stunned collectors at auction. We're talking about pennies that look completely ordinary at first glance until you spot the right detail. A doubling here. A missing design element there. A pristine condition so rare it pushes values into the thousands. Most people would spend them without a second thought. Smart collectors. They examine every 2009 Lincoln cent like it could be a jackpot. Before you ignore your pocket change again, you might want to watch this, because the next penny you find could be the one everyone else missed. First up, the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial 1-cent coin featuring the birth and early childhood in Kentucky design, struck without a mint mark. This isn't just any old penny. It's a collector's dream that packs a punch with its unique details, potential flaws that skyrocket its worth, and a demand that's heating up among savvy numismatists across the country. Stick with me, because we're going to unpack everything that makes this coin a standout in your collection, from its crisp features to why it's becoming a must-have for anyone serious about building wealth through coins. Let's start by painting a clear picture of what this penny looks like. On the front side, you've got the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, just like on every cent since 1909. It's designed by Victor David Brenner, with that strong, determined expression that reminds you of the man who led the nation through its toughest times. Above his head, the words "In God We Trust" arc gracefully, and to the left, "Liberty stands proud." The year 2009 sits right below Lincoln's chin, and since there's no mint mark underneath the date, you know this bad boy was minted in Philadelphia, the birthplace of so many iconic U.S. coins. Flip it over, and that's where the magic happens for this bicentennial series. The reverse shows a humble log cabin, symbolizing where Lincoln was born and spent his early years in Kentucky. It's got those rustic logs stacked just right, a simple chimney, and even a little split-rail fence in the foreground. The design captures that frontier spirit perfectly, with United States of America arching over the top, 1 cent at the bottom, and E pluribus unum tucked in there too. And don't forget the tiny 1809 inscribed on the lower right, nodding to Lincoln's birth year. The whole thing is struck on a copper-plated zinc planchette, weighing in at 2.5 grams and measuring 19 millimeters across, standard penny specs, but with that special bicentennial flair that sets it apart from your run-of-the-mill cents. Now, what really gets collectors buzzing about this coin is its condition. In the world of numismatics, grade is king, and this 2009 penny shines when it's in top shape. We're talking about those pieces that look like they just rolled off the mint presses, no scratches, no wear, that full red luster glowing under the light. The Sheldon scale rates them from MS-60 all the way up to MS-70, and for this design, anything in the MS-65 range or higher starts turning heads. Why? Because the Philadelphia Mint churned out over 284 million of these, so finding one in pristine condition isn't as easy as you might think. Everyday handling, exposure to air, even the slightest ding can drop a coin's grade fast. But when you snag one that's been carefully preserved, maybe slabbed by PCGS or NGC with that protective holder, it's like owning a time capsule. Collectors love that fresh from the mint appeal, and it directly ties into the coin's desirability. If you're out hunting, check for that sharp strike on the cabin's logs. Every detail should pop, from the individual planks to the tiny windows. Soft strikes or weak details. That could mean a lower grade and less excitement in the market. But hold on, because the real excitement kicks in when we talk about errors, those minting mishaps that turn an ordinary penny into a treasure. This 2009 birth and early childhood coin has some doozies that keep hunters on their toes. One biggie is the die crack, where the minting die develops a fracture, and metal flows into it, creating raised lines on the coin. You might spot these running across the cabin roof or along the ground, subtle at first, but under a loop, they stand out like a sore thumb. Then there's the repunched mint mark. Even though this one's without a mark, wait, no, for Philadelphia issues, errors can still creep in on the obverse or reverse. Actually, for this series, some pieces show double dies on the reverse, where the design elements like the logs or the date appear slightly overlapped because the die was hubbed twice at a slight offset. It's not super common on this specific design, but when it happens, it's a game changer. Off-center strikes are another thrill. Imagine the whole design shifted 10% or more off the planchette, leaving part of the coin blank. Broad strikes, where the collar fails and the coin spreads out bigger than normal, add even more variety. And don't overlook lamination errors, where the copper plating peels or cracks, revealing the zinc core underneath. These flaws aren't defects to collectors, they are badges of uniqueness that prove the mint isn't perfect. Spotting one requires a keen eye, maybe a good magnifying glass, and a bit of luck rummaging through rolls or change jars. The key is knowing what to look for, those anomalies that separate the common from the extraordinary. Rarity plays a huge role here too, and that's what amps up the appeal for this penny. With such a massive mintage, you'd think they're everywhere, but think again. Most of these coins entered circulation back in 2009 and have been bouncing around pockets, cash registers, and fountains ever since. That means the vast majority are worn down, scratched up, or just plain beat. The truly rare ones are those that escape the grind, uncirculated rolls tucked away by early collectors, or singles that somehow stayed pristine. Add in the errors we just talked about, and rarity shoots through the roof. Not every die crack is the same. Some are more pronounced, others tie into key design elements like the cabin's door or the fence. Doubled dies vary in strength too. A strong doubling might only appear on a handful of coins from a specific die pair. The US Mint didn't track these varieties closely at the time, so discovering one today feels like striking gold. And as more collectors dive into modern coins, the pool of available high-rarity pieces shrinks. Organizations like Kaneka catalog these varieties, assigning them numbers like WDDR001 or whatever fits, which helps authenticate and boost their status. If you're building a set, aiming for the rarest versions of this birth design can make your collection stand out at shows or online forums. Demand is another factor that's fueling interest in this coin right now. Numismatics isn't just for old-timers anymore. Younger folks are jumping in, drawn by the stories behind these pieces and the potential for big returns. This 2009 series ties directly into Lincoln's legacy, a president who embodies perseverance and unity, and that resonates with American collectors coast to coast. Online marketplaces like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Stack's Bowers are buzzing with activity for these pennies. Clubs like the American Numismatic Association highlight them in newsletters and YouTube channels, hey, like ours, keep the conversation going. Demand spikes around anniversaries too. Think Lincoln's birthday or the bicentennial follow-ups. Plus, with inflation and economic ups and downs, more people see coins as a stable way to park some cash. The birth and early childhood design, being the first in the series released in February 2009, holds a special spot as the kickoff coin. Collectors often chase complete sets, but standalone gems with errors or top grades command premium attention. International interest is growing too, from folks who admire US history. All this creates a vibrant market where supply struggles to keep up, pushing values higher for the best examples. When it comes to collecting potential, this 2009 penny is a smart play for beginners and pros alike. It's affordable to start. You can grab circulated ones for pennies on the dollar, but scaling up to errors or high grades builds real equity. Think of it as an entry point into the Bicentennial series. Once you're hooked, you'll want the other three designs too. Storage is key. Use flips, albums, or slabs to protect against toning or damage. Join online groups like Reddit's Altcoins or local coin clubs to swap tips and trades. And remember, patience pays off. Values for modern eras have climbed steadily since 2009 as more varieties get discovered and certified. This coin's got legs. It's not a flash-in-the-pan fad, but a solid piece with historical roots and growing scarcity. Whether you're flipping for profit or holding for the long haul, its mix of accessibility and upside makes it a winner. Now, let's get to the heart of what everyone's wondering, the current market value and those eye-popping high-grade auction prices. In today's market, a standard circulated example without errors might fetch just $1 or $2 from dealers, but step up to uncirculated MS65 reds, and you're looking at $15 to $25 easy. Push to MS67, and values jump to $150 to $200. But for the rarities, those with strong doubled dies, major off-centers, or unique die cracks, prices can soar into the hundreds or low thousands at auction. And then there's the ultralite. A pristine, error-laden specimen in MS68 or better, certified by top graders, has hammered down for as much as $200,000 in private sales and high-stakes auctions, driven by fierce bidding from top collectors who see it as the pinnacle of modern Lincoln cents. So, there you have it. The 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial 1-cent birth and early childhood in Kentucky, no mint mark, is more than a coin. It's your ticket to an exciting world of discovery and potential riches. Whether you're checking your change drawer tonight or hitting up a coin show this weekend, keep your eyes peeled. Who knows? That next penny could be the one that changes everything. Next up, the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial 1-cent coin celebrating his formative years in Indiana, struck without a mint mark at the Philadelphia Mint. This isn't your average pocket change. It's a modern rarity that's quietly building serious momentum in the collecting world, with top examples fetching prices that make even seasoned numismatists do a double take. Today on State Quarter, we're zeroing in on why this specific design stands out, what drives its value sky high, and how you might spot the next big winner hiding in plain sight. Right off the bat, let's get familiar with the coin's standout visuals. The obverse sticks to the timeless Lincoln profile we've all known since 1909. Strong jaw, thoughtful gaze looking right, within God we trust, above, liberty to the side, and the date 2009 below. No mint mark means Philadelphia origin, the classic home base for so many key dates. Turn it over, and the reverse tells a story of growth and grit, a young Lincoln perched on a felled log, holding an open book in one hand while an axe leans against the wood, capturing those Indiana years when he split rails by day and taught himself by firelight. The scene feels intimate and determined, the figure's posture, the book's pages, the rough-hewn log all rendered with fine detail. Arcing above is United States of America, below sits 1 cent, and E pluribus unum fits neatly in the field. The composition balances simplicity and symbolism perfectly, making this design one of the most sought-after in the 4-coin bicentennial lineup. Condition separates the everyday from the extraordinary here. With over 350 million struck for circulation, raw numbers suggest abundance, but pristine survivors are another story. We're chasing that full red color, deep, original mint luster without any brown toning creeping in. On the Sheldon scale, MS65 Red is solid entry-level premium territory, but the real fireworks start at MS67 and climb. At those levels, every tiny detail must be razor-sharp, the edges of the book pages, the grain in the log, Lincoln's fingers gripping the volume, even the subtle folds in his clothing. Philadelphia strikes from this era can show minor planchette issues or weak spots if the dies weren't perfectly aligned, so flawless examples stand out dramatically. Certified holders from PCGS or NGC lock, in that grade, protecting against future handling and giving buyers confidence. If you're grading your own finds, use strong lighting and a 10x loop. Check for cartwheel luster spinning evenly and zero contact marks in focal areas like the face or book. Errors are where this coin truly shines for hunters. The formative years design is famous for some eye-catching double die varieties, especially on the reverse. Look closely at Lincoln's left hand holding the book. Many pieces show an extra finger or thumb illusion from hub doubling, where the digits appear duplicated or thickened. That's not a scratch. It's a classic double die reverse, DDR, with listings like WDDR038 showing partial extra fingers above the index on the book's spine. Other varieties include lighter doubling on the thumb, die chips near the book edges, or cracks running through elements like the log or lettering. Off-center strikes shift the entire design, leaving blank crescents of metal. Broad strikes expand the coin beyond normal size when the collar fails. Die cracks can snake across the reverse, sometimes bold enough to cross Lincoln's figure or the axe handle. Lamination flaws peel the copper layer, exposing zinc underneath in silvery streaks. These aren't random damage, they are minting fingerprints that make each coin unique. The extra finger DDR grabs the most attention because it's visible even without magnification, turning an ordinary penny into a conversation piece overnight. Rarity builds from there. High mintage doesn't mean high availability in gem condition. Most went straight into circulation, got pocket-worn, or corroded over time. Fresh rolls saved back in 2009 are drying up as collectors cherry-pick the best. Certified populations drop sharply above MS66 or 67 Red. Only a handful reach MS68 or better, making those ultra gems exceptionally scarce. Throw in documented error varieties, and supply shrinks to almost nothing for the top-tier combos. Grading services track these closely, and as more gets slabbed, the known pool for elite pieces stabilizes at tiny numbers. That's classic scarcity driving long-term interest, supply fixed, demand steadily rising. Collector demand keeps pushing this forward. The bicentennial theme taps into deep American pride, Lincoln as the self-made man who rose from humble beginnings through sheer will and learning. This Indiana chapter resonates especially, symbolizing education and hard work that shaped a future president. Enthusiasts chase full sets of the 4 designs, but the formative years often becomes a centerpiece because of its dramatic varieties and visual appeal. Auction houses see steady bidding wars for certified gems or major errors. Online platforms buzz with sales. Coin shows feature dedicated display cases. Modern series like this attract newer collectors who want something attainable yet with upside potential. No need for six-figure budgets to start. As economic factors make tangible assets more attractive, these pennies offer an accessible entry with real growth history since release. Collecting strategy here is straightforward and rewarding. Start low. Grab circulated examples or uncirculated rolls for under $20 to build familiarity. Move up to slabbed MS66 or 67 reds for solid mid-range pieces. Hunt varieties in change, bank rolls, or dealer lots. The extra finger ones can appear in unexpected places. Protect everything, airtight holders, cool storage, no PVC flips. Engage with communities online or at local shops to learn authentication tips and spot emerging varieties. This design's youth means new discoveries still happen, keeping the excitement alive. It's a coin that rewards patience and knowledge, with potential to appreciate as the series matures into classic modern status. Current market values reflect that momentum. A nice circulated piece without special features goes for face or slight premium, maybe $1 or $2. Uncirculated MS65 red typically brings $10 to $20, stepping up to $50 to $150 for MS67. Strong double die examples, especially the prominent extra finger variety in high grade, climb into the hundreds or low thousands. For the absolute pinnacle, think MS68 red with a dramatic, certified error or ultra-rare combination. Auction records have pushed into the stratosphere, with standout specimens realizing up to $220,000 in competitive sales from determined collectors chasing the finest modern Lincoln cent known. This 2009 formative years in Indiana penny, no mint mark, isn't just metal. It's proof that history's greatest stories can fit in your palm and still deliver massive potential. Dig through that junk drawer. Check those old rolls. Visit your local coin shop. Your next life-altering find could be waiting. Next up, the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial 1-cent coin honoring his professional life in Illinois, no mint mark, straight from Philadelphia. This design captures Lincoln at the height of his pre-presidency career, standing tall as a lawyer and legislator, and it's quietly emerging as one of the hottest modern pieces for serious collectors chasing big payoffs. On State Quarter today, we're breaking down exactly why this Illinois chapter penny deserves your attention, spotlighting its standout traits, hidden gems in the form of errors, the razor-thin supply of top examples, and the kind of money-changing hands for the absolute best ones right now. Take a good look at the front first. It's the familiar Brenner Lincoln we know and love. Dignified profile facing right. In God we trust curving overhead. Liberty on the left, 2009 date below, and 0 mint mark confirming that Philadelphia strike. Nothing fancy there, but turn to the reverse, and the story explodes. Lincoln stands confidently in front of the iconic Illinois State Capitol building in Springfield, right arm extended as if making a point in debate or argument. The Capitol's dome and columns rise behind him, windows detailed sharply, steps leading up. It's a scene of rising influence and public service from roughly 1830 to 1860. United States of America arcs at the top, 1 cent anchors the bottom, e pluribus unum sits in the field. The whole reverse feels purposeful and powerful, a perfect visual nod to the man who honed his skills in law and politics before leading the nation. What separates ordinary finds from portfolio boosters is condition, plain and simple. This design saw a mintage north of $316 million for Philadelphia alone, so worn examples flood the market. But gems? Those are the unicorns. We after full, blazing red luster, no fading to brown, no spots, no haze. MS65 red gets you in the game nicely, but the sweet spot for real appreciation kicks in at MS66 and above. At MS67 red, details like the individual window panes in the Capitol, the creases in Lincoln's coat, the precise outline of his extended hand, they all have to lock in perfectly. Higher still, MS68 red becomes a modern conditional rarity, with populations so low that even major services like PCGS report just a handful certified. These coins demand flawless strikes, pristine surfaces, and that eye appeal that makes graders pause. Slabbed examples protect that perfection, and buyers pay premiums for the security and verification. Errors add another layer of thrill for the dedicated searcher. While this professional life design doesn't boast the headline-grabbing extra-finger drama of its Indiana sibling, it still delivers solid double die action and other mint mishaps. Look for minor doubling on elements like parts of Liberty, the date digits or windows in the Capitol building, subtle shifts from hub doubling that show as notching or thickness under magnification. Die cracks can trace lines across the building facade or through Lincoln's figure, sometimes bold, sometimes faint but distinctive. Clipped planchets leave crescent cuts along the edge, off-center strikes displace the design noticeably, and broad strikes flatten and widen the coin. Die deterioration doubling creeps in on some zinc pieces, mimicking true doubling but tied to wear. These varieties aren't as flashy as some, but documented ones from sources like Konecker or Wechsler lists carry weight, especially when combined with high grade. Spotting them means pulling out the loop, examining bankrolls, or scanning dealer inventory with fresh eyes. The payoff comes when a minor variety turns out to be scarcer than expected. Scarcity ties it all together. Massive original output sounds common, but time has done its work. Circulation wear, corrosion, loss to pocket change, has culled the herd. Uncirculated survivors from 2009 rolls or sets dwindle yearly as more get graded or spent. Top-end populations plummet. MS67 Red sees decent but limited numbers, while MS68 Red hovers in the single digits or low teens across services. Certified errors. Even rarer. That fixed supply meets growing interest from collectors who view these bicentennial issues as the next big modern series. No endless production runs here. It's a closed chapter with built-in limits. Demand keeps climbing because this coin hits all the right notes. Lincoln's Illinois years represent the bridge from humble roots to national stage, ambition realized through intellect and oratory. That narrative pulls in history buffs, Lincoln completists, and investors alike. The series format encourages full-set building, but standalone professional life pieces shine for their stately design and variety potential. Auctions light up for certified high grades, online sales move quickly, shows feature them prominently. Newer collectors love the entry price, start cheap, scale to gems, while veterans see proven appreciation trends since 2009. Economic uncertainty boosts interest in physical holdings too. This design, released mid-series in August 2009, holds a prime spot in the lineup, fueling steady bidding whenever strong examples surface. Smart collecting means playing the long game here. Snag circulated or lower uncirculated pieces to learn the design inside out, cheap and educational. Target slabbed MS66 or 67 Reds for balanced risk-reward. Hunt varieties patiently. They pop up in unexpected places like mixed rolls or old accumulations. Store properly, dry, stable environments, quality holders, to preserve red color and surfaces. Connect with forums, error specialists, or grading population reports to stay ahead on emerging listings. This penny rewards knowledge and persistence. As populations freeze and demand builds, values trend upward for quality material. Market reality right now shows the spread clearly. Circulated examples without standout features hover near face value or small premium, say a quarter to a couple bucks. Solid uncirculated MS65 Red pulls $8 to $20, MS66 around $30 to $50, and MS67 Red reaches $100 to $200 or more depending on eye appeal. Certified errors add hundreds, sometimes pushing into four figures for the right combo. But the crown jewels, those pristine MS68 Red examples, especially with any verified variety, have seen competitive action drive prices to extraordinary levels, with top auction results hitting up to $250,000 for the finest, most flawless specimens commanding fierce bids from elite collectors. The 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial 1 Center Professional Life in Illinois No Mint Mark is your chance to own a slice of presidential legacy with serious modern rarity baked in. It's proof that even recent coins can deliver massive upside when condition, variety, and timing align. Next up, the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial 1 Center Coin Presidency in Washington, D.C., this time with the distinctive DE Mint mark from the Denver Mint. Among the 4 designs released that year, this final chapter often flies under the radar, yet its lower mintage, striking symbolism, and potential for ultra-high-grade perfection make it a sleeper hit that's quietly commanding serious money in today's market. Welcome back to State Quarter. Let's dive deep into what sets this Denver-minted Presidency penny apart, why condition and subtle flaws can explode its worth, and how it's positioning itself as a powerhouse for forward-thinking collectors. Start with the coin's appearance, because it tells a compelling tale at first glance. The obverse remains the iconic Victor David Brenner Lincoln, resolute profile gazing right, in God we trust, arched above, Liberty to the left, and 2009 below, now joined by that clear DE Mint mark just underneath the date, proof positive this one came from Denver's presses. Flip to the reverse, and you're greeted by the partially constructed Capitol dome, scaffolding in place, the iconic structure rising but not yet complete. No Lincoln figure here. The focus is purely on the building itself, evoking the Civil War era when the dome's construction continued despite the conflict, representing resilience and a nation still being forged. United States of America curves along the top, 1 cent below. E pluribus unum in the field, clean, symbolic, and powerful in its simplicity. The design, by Susan Gamble, captures that sense of ongoing American evolution perfectly, making this the thoughtful capstone to the Bicentennial series. Condition is the ultimate decider for value in this piece. The Denver Mint produced around 198 million of these for circulation, the lowest output among the 4 2009 designs, so raw supply starts tighter than the others right out of the gate. But most ended up in pockets, vending machines, or lost to time, leaving gem survivors in short supply. Full red luster is non-negotiable, that vibrant, original copper shine without any toning, spots, or haze. On the grading ladder, MS65 Red offers a nice step up from circulation, but the money really starts flowing at MS66 and MS67 Red, where every scaffolding line, every architectural detail on the dome, and the crisp lettering must stand out razor-sharp. Push into MS68 Red territory, and you're in elite company. Populations are minuscule, with top services like PCGS and NGC showing very few examples certified at that level. Denver strikes from this period can exhibit minor planchette inconsistencies or strike softness in spots, so truly flawless pieces with booming eye appeal fetch premiums that reflect their scarcity. Errors and varieties bring the real adrenaline for searchers. This Presidency design has its share of documented quirks, even if they're subtler than some flashier ones in the series. Die cracks often appear running through the dome's columns or scaffolding, creating raised lines that pop under magnification, some faint, others bold and eye-catching. Minor double dies show up as notching on letters, extra thickness on parts of the date, or slight doubling in the dome elements from hubbing shifts. Off-center strikes displace the design, leaving noticeable blank areas. Broad strikes spread the coin wider than normal. Clipped planchets create edge cuts. Lamination issues can flake the copper plating, revealing zinc in irregular patterns. While not overflowing with headline varieties like extra fingers elsewhere, the documented ones, tracked by error specialists and variety catalogs, add uniqueness and chase value. Combine a strong error with high grade, and you've got something that stands out in any collection. Rarity stems directly from that lower mintage and the ravages of circulation. With fewer struck to begin with, and the vast majority seeing real-world wear, the pool of pristine examples shrinks fast. Fresh rolls from 2009 are long gone or picked over. Certified gems above MS67 are counted in small numbers across grading populations. This built-in scarcity, paired with the design's thematic weight as the series finale, creates upward pressure. Collectors completing bicentennial sets often prioritize this one for its historical symbolism and relative toughness to find in top shape. Demand builds steadily because this coin resonates on multiple levels. It represents Lincoln's leadership through America's darkest hour, the unfinished dome mirroring a country in reconstruction. That narrative appeals to history enthusiasts, Lincoln aficionados, and investors seeking modern pieces with narrative depth. The lower Denver mintage draws Denver specialists and variety hunters. Auctions see consistent interest in high-grade reds and certified errors. Online platforms move quality examples quickly. Shows highlight them in display cases. As the Bicentennial series ages into modern classic territory, demand from newer collectors grows, affordable entry but real potential for appreciation. Economic factors favoring tangible assets help too. This penny offers history, scarcity, and upside without requiring a fortune upfront. Building a position here makes smart sense. Begin with circulated or lower-grade uncirculated pieces, inexpensive ways to study the design and hunt varieties in change or rolls. Advance to slabbed MS66 or 67 reds for strong, liquid holdings. Scour for errors methodically, loop bank rolls, check dealer lots, monitor variety updates from Coneca or similar groups. Safeguard your finds with proper holders and storage to maintain red color. Stay connected through online communities or local clubs to catch emerging varieties or market shifts. This design rewards the patient collector. As more top pieces get locked away in collections, available supply tightens further. Today's values paint a clear picture of the opportunity. Circulated examples without errors trade near face or slight premiums, often a quarter or less. Uncirculated MS65 red typically goes for $8 to $15, MS66 around $20 to $40, and MS67 red can reach $100 to $300 or higher with strong eye appeal. Solid certified errors at hundreds to low thousands. But the true standouts, those impeccable MS68 red specimens, especially with any notable variety, have commanded fierce competition at auction, with elite examples realizing up to $210,000 in high-stakes sales driven by collectors determined to secure the finest known Presidency in DC pennies. This 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial Presidency penny isn't just the end of a series, it's the beginning of serious potential for anyone willing to look closely. The dome on the reverse reminds us that great things take time and perseverance. The same goes for building a collection that pays off big. Check your drawers, dig into those old coin jars, swing by a shop or show with fresh eyes. That 1D mint mark could be your golden ticket. Share in the comments if you've spotted any 2009 varieties lately, give a thumbs up if you're motivated to hunt, and subscribe to State Quarter for more insights into coins hiding massive value. The search continues. Let's make it count.